All right, and welcome back, guys. And this right here is going to be your ultimate guide to getting long shots in Vanguard. We're going to break down everything you need to know. The attachments you want to look out for, the classes you want to run, the perks, the maps, the lines of sights that are going to absolutely help you maximize the amount of long shots. And we're going to break this down for every kind of different weapon category, things that are going to be super important with it, but we're going to try to make it not so long. We're going to have it so this video is pretty short. You can watch it, get back into game, and get those long shot challenges done. And after having done pretty much every single long shot challenge for all the weapons in the game, this, in my opinion, is probably the hardest, longest, most annoying challenge for any of the weapon classes. The long shots just take longer than anything else, but kind of using all the tips in this video, you should be able to get 30 to 50 long shots per game, and that's going to make it where it's only taking 2 to 3 games to finish the entirety of the long shot challenges. So yeah, definitely want to make sure you look out for that. But before we do that, if you're new here and want to sub, I would greatly appreciate that. And I got to give a massive thanks to everyone who's leave a like, comment, and watch this video in its entirety, as those definitely help me and my channel out greatly. We're going to be covering any sort of camo challenges that you request in the comments, so make sure you leave any other camo issues you're having. We're going to cover anything that's going to help you get atomic camo as quick as possible here. And all right, the first thing we're going to break down here is the class setups, the perks, the attachments that you want to be running. So for the perks, Tier 1, I just kind of use Ghost. It really doesn't matter. Whatever is going to help you stay alive the longest. I personally prefer Ghost. Perk number 2 is probably the most helpful. I really like piercing vision for getting these long shots, because even on hardcore, a lot of these weapons are going to take more than one bullet to kill. And if you hit that enemy at that super long range, they're going to glow red after that first shot. So even if they take cover or whatever they do, it makes it so much easier to track them and follow them down and get those finishing shots to make sure you get the long shot. Obviously, if there's one on here that helps you more often, kind of try them all. But for me, when I'm going for long shots, piercing vision just seems to be the best just overall at helping me get more long shots per game than anything else. And then perk 3, once again, whatever helps you the most. I like lightweight because I like to be able to spawn in and run and get to the spot as quick as possible, because that's really what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going to the same spot over and over again. The quicker you can get there, especially early game, it allows you to kind of set up on the other people that are also potentially going for long shots. Now, when it comes to attachments, there's different attachments for each and every weapon. We're not going to break down the best weapon class setup for all 38 weapons. Obviously, that would make this video extremely long, but there are certain attachments that are just straight up better that you want to be using. Since we're going for long shots, we're shooting enemies at a super far distance. Kind of maximizing to have little recoil is super helpful, and anything that makes your bullet velocity better is extremely helpful. So pretty much for any weapon, this right here, the lightened ammo type, is extremely helpful. I will recommend this for any weapon you're using except for shotguns, because we're going to be a little bit different for those ammo types. But this, super helpful. You definitely want to be running the lighten. Same thing, real cool control when mounted, crouched, or prone. Since we're not going to be moving that often, this bipod attachment, if it has something along these lines, that +4 recoil control is extremely helpful. Then you've got stuff like this that increases the accuracy. If you don't see anything else that makes the bullet velocity or the recoil control better, accuracy is not a bad option. For the barrel, you have 2 different options. You got the bullet velocity one, but honestly, highly accurate and controllable. This to me is kind of my go-to. If I see a barrel that says it has the highly accurate and controllable option, I pick this. If you don't see that, then just go for the bullet velocity. If it has both, like the bar, I prefer the highly accurate and controllable, because even if the bullet velocity is amazing, if you're shooting someone at far range and you're not able to control the recoil, then you're not going to get the kill. It's straight up that simple. This attachment, super helpful for this. Same thing for the stocks. There's not a lot of things that are super helpful, but this initial accuracy and recoil is one of the benefits you kind of want to look out for on the attachments. This is going to make so your first 2 or 3 shots are a lot more accurate, and the recoil doesn't completely fly up when you first start shooting. And I mean, in hardcore, it's only going to take a few shots. So those first few shots are the most important ones in hardcore. Proficiency wise, depending on the weapon, sleight of hand's kind of helpful. Our flinch resistance, same thing. The hard scope one's pretty good as well. Once again, that one's a little bit more personal preference. I was using the deep breath on this, so you can hold your, actually, I don't know why I was using deep breath on this. Usually I use like the max starting ammo, and some of them have ones that allow you to run a little bit quicker. I like that one a lot too. But when it comes to the optic, I use the same optic on every weapon. Right now, in my opinion, this 3 to 6 times scope is the single best optic in the game. It has almost no weapon sway whatsoever, like at any point in time. And depending on the map, the 3 and 6 times can help. I'm constantly zooming in and out using this scope. You press shift on PC, I don't know what it is on console, but being able to kind of gear depending on the map you're playing, it's just super accurate. And I've tried a lot of the other scopes, but this 3 to 6 times is pretty much what I use for every single weapon. This is my favorite scope in the game when going for long shots. Obviously, if you're not going for long shots, I'd use something that's not as high zoomed in as 3 and 6, but at least give this scope a try. I know that different people like different optics, but this one was just extremely helpful for whatever weapon class. I even used this on the snipers. I used it on the SMGs. I used it on everything. It was super, super helpful. But the same thing, we can look at other weapons, but if you look at the class that I made here for the MP40, the same thing, highly accurate and controllable is what I looked for the barrel. We got the one that did the +2 accuracy here, the stabilizer, this aim walking movement speed, because none of these other ones helped a whole lot. Same thing for the magazines, +2 bullet velocity and range. That's what we're looking for. Once again, we use the light and ammo, and you can kind of see a pattern here. 3 to 6 times scope. So you just want to look through, kind of look for those bonuses that I explained in this video, and that's going to be the best setup for each and every weapon, with the one exception. That's going to hold true for every single weapon type except for the shotgun. Shotgun long shots work a little bit different, and honestly, they're not too hard. And if you struggled with them, it's pretty simple. All I do for this is you want to put on the buck and slug. Same thing, look for barrels that increase the damage range for shotguns. That's going to be super helpful. Tighter pellet spread, super helpful. Plus accuracy is helpful. All that stuff like this. And if you're playing hardcore and you got buck and slug on, you're going to be able to one-shot someone from pretty much anywhere on the map, and you could get almost all your long shots in one game. Even playing core, you don't even have to play hardcore. These shotguns, if you've been playing the Haus 24/7, you know that a lot of the kills you got on there were long shots. So if you're struggling with that, try the buck and slug, go into hardcore, and finish it off in a couple games. Shouldn't be so bad. But if you're able to, doing it in core might be a little bit faster, so try that first. But this is same thing goes for the attachments. The only difference is the ammo type. The buck and slug is what I would recommend for that. And next, we're talking about one of the most important things. This is the game mode and game type you are playing. And if there is a good playlist at the point in time that you're doing this, it makes it a lot easier. Unfortunately, right now, none of these playlists are really good. And the way you can tell if there's a good playlist for this is if any of the maps that I show off later in this video, ones that I said are really good for long shots, if they have a playlist that focuses mainly on those maps, that is really good for kind of lobby shopping those different playlists and playing it. And the unfortunate thing is right now, there are no hardcore playlists. So even with that, unless they end up adding some hardcore playlist, I'd recommend just playing normal hardcore matchmaking. But if in the future there is like a Red Star 24/7 hardcore playlist, that would be great. Same thing, Dome's good for long shots. So that really comes down to the current time and place you're going for this. But I'm gonna recommend doing every single weapon in hardcore, getting these long shots, except for the sniper classes, because these are all one shot in core, and you're gonna be putting yourself at a disadvantage trying to do these ones in hardcore because it's already a one shot. So you should definitely play core for these. And the SVT. The SVT can actually one-shot in core as well, making it extremely useful to just go ahead and use that in core. The M1 Grand, I would probably just do this one in hardcore. Same thing with the Gewehr. I would do that one in hardcore. And every other weapon class, besides maybe the shotguns, unless you're struggling with them, the LMGs, the SMGs, the assault rifles, the M1 Grand, and the Gewehr, I'd recommend doing every single one of these in hardcore. Same thing with pistols. And that's just because, you know, it's going to take a lot less bullets to kill the enemy, and it's going to guarantee you get more of those kills because you got to hit more bullets in core at that longer ranges, meaning people have more time to run behind cover, get away from your fire, and it's going to result in a lot less kills, unless it's a one-shot kill, like the sniper or the SVT, which is why I'd recommend doing those in core. And now when it comes to the filter options, this was what I was running. I was running domination, patrol, and hardpoint, and I was running it in blitz. The reason you want to play blitz is because obviously the more enemies that are on the enemy team, the more chances you have at seeing someone a long range. If there's obviously 20 enemies on the enemy team compared to 8, you have more chances at seeing those enemies. So that's pretty obvious. And like I said, if they eventually start adding some 24/7 playlist in the hardcore option, if those maps, if you're really good at hitting long shots, you definitely want to play those. But right now, you can only choose between these different modes. Domination's pretty good because the game lasts longer. Patrol, once again, if the patrol point's on the opposite end of where you're going for long shots, you're going to be able to get so many at that point in time. Same thing with hard point. The team or the objective based game modes, I just find people kind of stay a little bit farther away, especially when there is an objective. So that's why I try to tend to play those over team deathmatch. And then obviously you don't want to be playing S&D. All right, and one last tip I want to talk about before we get into game, and this is pretty important as it could save you a ton of time. There are some weapons you've got to get double the amount of long shots for. And what I mean, for the bar, one of these challenges up here are going to be long shots. However, these final 3 challenges, one of these are going to make you get 100 more long shots using 3 specific attachments. So for these weapons, it doesn't make sense to even start working on going for the long shots until you unlock one of the last 3 challenges. Because if you get all 100 long shots done and then you rank it up to this right here, it's going to make you get another 100. And you can double up on these at the same time. No matter what, you're going to have to do this last set. So don't even work on it till you get here. And since we've already maxed out every weapon and done every single long shot challenge, I've created a list of all the weapons that are going to make you do this. So if we go to the AR category, both the automation and the bar, both of these 2 weapons are going to make you do 2 separate sets of long shots. Moving on to the SMG category, the MP40 is going to have 2 separate sets of long shots. The Type 100 is going to have 2 separate sets of long shots. And then what else? For the shotguns, none of these have 2 sets of long shots. For the LMG, only the Bren. The Bren, once you get to the final 3 challenges, is going to make you do the long shots again. For the marksman rifles, only the M1 Grand is going to make you do 2 sets of long shots. And then every single sniper. And then we've already checked none of the pistols, none of that. So yeah, all those weapons that I just listed, don't start working on the long shot challenge until you go all the way down and unlock the second set, or else you're going to waste a ton of time going for the long shots before you even get the second one. And boom, just like that, we're now loaded in game, and I'm going to show you different spots on different maps, starting with the Berlin map. Right now, we're just playing against bots just to kind of show you where enemies are going to be, but bots don't play like normal players, so usually they'll be enemies. The first one, this area is really good here, and people have started noticing more and more about this spot, but a lot of times the enemies are going to be spawning all over there, and you're going to have lots of different enemies kind of sniping around this area. And you can easily just continuously shoot around here. But if you do have an enemy that knows what's going up, they'll probably shoot you back from here. But like I said, tons of different availability. And this is what I was talking about with the scope. As you can see, you can zoom in with the scope. And look at this. I'm not holding my breath with this. This is the idle sway on this scope. It has next to no idle sway, making it extremely easy. I don't have my other hand on the keyboard, so this is just the normal, like, no, it has no sway. But from this spot, sometimes you'll flip spawns, and if you come over here, this is where the spawn point's going to be once they flip, and these are still long shots. They'll be spawning in back here, and you'll be able to shoot them as they spawn in and get more long shots. And obviously the same spot we just showed works in reverse, so if you spawn over here, once again, you can kind of sit on this side here, and well, you got people spawning over here, but yeah, keep in mind there's going to be people probably going for long shots there. And all over here, you can kind of get a look when they spawn in here. This is one of the better maps for getting long shots right now. All right, now we're loaded on Bocage or Bocage, something like that. I really can't pronounce the name. This line of sight is really good. You're gonna have enemies spawning up here constantly trying to peek you. And yeah, you can get long shots on the other side of the map. But in my opinion, if you're playing this map, this right here is kind of my go-to spot. It's free for all. And once again, like I said, we're playing against bots, so these don't play like normal lobbies. But in normal lobbies, tons of enemies funnel down here. And just like any other position I'm going to show you guys, you can do this exact same thing in reverse. So if you do end up spawning on this side, you can once again just come over here and people are going to funnel in down through here and you can shoot them through there. If you got to get your penetration kills through that area is not too bad. And you can do the other side. Like I said, there's long shot potential over here, but I just don't find as many people go down this way. Obviously, people are going to build up there. Through this little pathway, a lot of people come through, but I definitely prefer the other side of the map for the long shots. Oh my God, this map is absolute chaos on free-for-all. Here we are loaded into Haus map. And I'm not going to show every single map in this. I'm only going to be showing the ones that I think are best for getting long shots. Obviously, you can get long shots on just about any map, but what I would do is make 2 separate classes. Make a class for going for long shots and then a separate weapon that you're working on. And every time you get one of the good maps, that's when you want to use your long shot class. So any of the maps that I show off in this video, that's when you want to be going for long shots. Any other time you get a map, go up for a different camo challenge. So obviously, you guys know where I'm going with this. This is really good for SMG long shots. This part of the map is extremely good for the SMG long shots. It can work for the other ones. It can work for the ARs. It can work for the LMGs, not the sniper rifles. But especially if you're not playing free-for-all, if you have an objective on the other side of the map and people are coming down the objective line, if you just come here and you lay down, you're going to get a lot of people funneling in through this area, and they'll be coming here, especially if you have like an objective on the other side. And if you're playing not free-for-all, the enemy's spawn point's going to be over here, and you can just lay down and continuously feed in the kills. And this right here is one of the single best maps for long shots. This is one of the maps that you can get 50 plus long shots in a game, that being Demyansk. I can't pronounce it, but that right there is the name of it. It's the snow map. The first spot right here is probably the best spot in the game. Jumping up on this, kind of hard to make the jump with an LMG, so I'm going to switch over here. Of course, I still missed the jump, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend using the LMG that I got in my hand. But if we come over here with the SMG, hop up here, this right here, you're going to see enemies spawning in like crazy. This back here is a spawn point, and you can just sit up here all game. Anything past this lake is pretty much going to be a long shot, and this is their entire spawn point. Just sitting up here farming long shots all game long is insane. And now I actually have the perk on that I recommended at the beginning of this video. See how they highlight? Once you shoot the enemy once, they're going to highlight, which really does help for these long range engagements. But in normal lobbies, yeah, they're spawning right here, but you'll see a lot of spawn points back here and back up in here. And I mean, even over there, right there's an objective. You can watch the objective. Got a guy right there. This is probably the single best map in the entire game. And then once again, obviously you can do it on whichever side you spawn in at. It's going to be a little bit harder to show this off because we got enemies all over here. If I could open the freaking door here. But if you do spawn in on this side, please don't see me. Yep. What you're going to want to do is get on top of that building over there. Okay, here we go. If you spawn in on this side, all you want to do is jump up on this building. And from here, you're going to be able to see this bridge, get long shots here. You'll be able to see the people in the tower. And there's a spawn point right back here. And people are just going to funnel in from this location. Just kind of all over here, spawn points, back up in here. And I prefer the other side a little bit, but this map is definitely one you do not want to skip if you're going for long shots. It's probably the single best map in the entire game right now. And okay, now time for Desert Siege. On Desert Siege, I really like this spot right here, especially since you can just kind of mount up here. Enemies funnel through this one line. Oh, of course, the enemies got in front of me. I probably should have stopped shooting, but enemies just funnel in through that one line of sight. As you saw there, as I was shooting, like 8 or more enemies came in. But yeah, just right here, and you can just mount on top of it. The only issue is you don't want to shoot teammates. But yeah, right here is a beautiful spot. And once again, you can just show it off in reverse. If you spawn on this side, which the side that I just showed off was the better of the two sides. But if you do end up getting this side, you can just come up here, once again, lean, and you are going to see people come up. But I definitely recommend trying to get on the other side and have your team control that side for the long shots. And all right, now it's time for Dome. I really wish we get a Dome 24/7 playlist. Dome is good for anything you need to do. For kill challenges, it's great. Long shots, it's great. Honestly, this would be the perfect map if you could only play one map and you had to do all the challenges on it. Obviously, for Dome, you've got this giant open line of sight here. Any sort of enemies you see down over here, these are going to be long shots for pretty much most type of weapons, not snipers. They're going to be coming in through this area. You'll be able to get them. Come over here, you're going to see enemies from this spawn point. And I mean, if you play Dome, you probably know how to get long shots on Dome, and this is very redundant. But everything we just showed is in reverse. This is just a giant open map, and either... Okay, that was a little weird. My screen went back. But if we can somehow manage to get onto the other side real quick, we can show this off. But with the amount of players, this is going to be a little ridiculous. All right, so over here, if you get on this side, obviously you can come up here and you can watch people spawn in from this spot, and you're just going to get a ton. There's spawn points over there. People are going to flood up through the stairs. But on top of all that, one of my other favorite spots on Dome is to come down here and just kind of mantle on stuff like this. And you can get a really good vantage head glitch right here, and you can just see them as they spawn in, whether they're on the top or not. Dome is... Every time I spawn in, my screen goes black for a second. What the... Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. This game's a little bit glitchy, but same thing, like, it's Dome. You'll get long shots pretty much any way you're looking on this map, if you can get lucky enough to get it. And another map that's really good for long shots is Eagle Nest, and you probably already know this spot. I think everyone knows this spot from it being in the beta, but right here, you can really get a good line of sight, or if they're coming up here, you can also open this door, and you'll be able to find all the people on this side as well. And for the most part, as long as they're towards the end, they're going to count as long shots. Obviously, if they're super close, they're not going to count, but anyone way back there. And obviously it works in reverse. And this one's pretty common. You probably already knew about this spot because it was in the beta. It's been in this game for a super long time. And if you're on this side, obviously you got people there, and you'll be able to jump over and get the people in the middle right there. And now we're on Gavutu, or however you say that. This right here is the best long shot map for snipers, in my opinion. This spot right here is super powerful for sniping. You got tons of enemies. Oh my, look, bots are so dumb, and they're just, I don't get it. But you get tons of enemies coming up here. You're gonna get enemies in that building right here. You're gonna get people peeking their head across from here. And once again, I'm not even gonna show you the other side, but it works in reverse. If you're up in that, on the other side, you wanna get in this red tower, snipe out from the windows, and you're gonna have enemies coming from here, have enemies coming from this side. But if you're playing on snipers, I would just keep a sniper class, and every time you get this map, definitely use the sniper, because while going for long shots on this map with the sniper, I was able to get a 15 kill streak. Fample got a 15 kill streak and got a nuke from sniping in these spots. This spot is just so beneficial for snipers that you're gonna get probably, I mean, close to 50 long shots a game on this map, because it is just absolutely insane, as long as the map, you know, plays for a decent amount of time. Obviously your teammates rush the objective and they win super quickly, you're not going to get that much. But if the map goes on for a decent amount of time, you'll just completely go through the sniper long shots like it's nothing. And all right, another long shot spot that's also kind of redundant to show, because this was another beta map, but on Hotel Royale, if you come on this line of sight right here, you can mount up here, and this is a pretty big funnel point. You can get a lot of enemies spawning over here, and if you're all the way back, you can actually still get sniper long shots. So just about any weapon works here, and clearly it works in reverse. So if you spawn on the other side, same thing. If you come up here, jump up over here, mount up on this, and these will all be long shots as they're funneling in here. In a normal lobby that's not full of bots, you're getting a lot more enemies running this way. The bots just have a weird pathfinding method. And now last and probably least here, we have Red Star. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like ever since this game's launched, this map isn't in matchmaking that often. I feel like I barely get put in this map, or people just back out. But if you are playing Red Star, yeah, long shots are pretty freaking easy. This is one of the better long shot maps, because any kill you get for the most part is going to be a long shot. If you just come up in one of the buildings, I don't even need to show you funnel points, because you can see this map's wide open, and any enemy we see that's over in that area is going to be a long shot, and it's going to work for most weapons. Maybe not, that wasn't quite far enough. These guys aren't going to be far enough, but anyone spawning in kind of close to their objective over there. And I don't need to show you a bunch of spots on Red Star. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out, look out a window, see the enemies, especially if you're playing an objective game mode. I think we flipped spawns, so they're spawning where I'm at. But that right there is kind of all the maps in the different locations. So if you ever see a 24/7 playlist for the maps that I showed here, definitely make sure you're playing that playlist. Especially if they get hardcore for it, it is going to be insane. But yeah, using the tips and tricks, you should be able to get roughly 30 to 50 long shots per game, making it take 2 to 3 games to finish all of your long shots. Obviously, the lobbies are short. It might take a few more, but if you play decent sized games, it's pretty quick. And this is the hardest camo challenge, in my opinion. So hopefully this video definitely was able to help you out. If there is any additional things here, any additional tips that you used while you're getting your long shots that you think could help people that I did not cover, make sure you leave it in the comments below and I'll favor it. That way it goes all the way to the top. And if you're looking for more additional tips, check the comments, because people are going to be leaving additional helpful stuff there. As always, we're going to be making a guide for every single weapon class, all that stuff. Anything you could possibly want to know about camo grinding, we are going to be covering on this channel. And with that, guys, yeah, I'll end this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Oh, hey there. Thank you for watching the entire video. I've got to take this last moment here to give a huge thanks to everyone who became a Twitch sub or a YouTube member, and an extra special thanks to those who have taken above and beyond and became an Unlock Plus Plus member on YouTube. We've got the 2x Trader Purple. We've got the most OP Gobblegum ever, Round Robin. We have the hero Arrow Pharaoh, and then we've got the absolute legend Peyton Perkins. Once again, got a huge thanks to all of them for becoming Unlock Plus Plus members here on YouTube.